Start, and you go and build your table, you set it up, you open the ritual, you ask for a ghost, you ask for a spirit, you ask for a Lord, you get the Lord, you get the spirit, and then you close the ritual. We talked about these things, right? Okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and look at the video. Then once you did that and you've written things down, you need time to get with the spirits, understand the spirits, comprehend the spirits. What do I mean? The angel versus the ghost versus a demon, and they all in your physical form, this body as a passenger, they all sound the same. The message is different. The angel, I know the angel because the angel says, go right, go left. Just go here. He's directing, he's giving me a direction. I know the ghost because the ghost is always teaching me. He's forever teaching me, non-stop teaching me. And it's not just teaching me, he and the angel is directing me to go to a place, and he's teaching me about that place, about the persons, about this, about he's teaching. Now, as I go down this path, I know the devil is there. The demons are there because they're trying to deviate me from my path. They're trying to tempt me. They're trying to do whatever they can to stop me from getting to where I need to go. Okay? So when I get the spirit through my ritual, one needs to take the time to get to know your passengers, to get to know your angel, to get to know the ghost or the spirit that you call upon. So you meditate. You don't pray, you just meditate. You are just driving your car, listening to your passengers. If anything does come within your meditation, have a book, write it down. That's all, just write it down. Don't do nothing, just write it down. And you take your time until you're comfortable with your spirits. Okay. So in Matthew's 10, let's go here, 20, for it is not ye that speaks, but the Spirit of your Father which speaks in you. Okay, we got that. We understand that, I hope. If not, try to rewind. Let's go up to Matthew, within Matthew's 10, and let's look at 7 and 8 again. In 7, as you go, see, this is the key. As you go, where are you going? You don't know. You need an angel. You need a ghost. If I ask you, what's your purpose? And you have no clue about your purpose, you ain't going nowhere. You just here. Just here. In time, in this space, roaming around. And you're roaming around because the devil got you. It's stopping you to get to a place. See, a person who's following the light, the person who's following their guardian angel, the person who has a ghost, they have a direction to go. What's your purpose? To get here. When I get there, the spirit will tell me what to do. So, as you go, only those who go, has a place to go, can follow this. When you go, you're going to first introduce yourself, and you're going to do a type of preaching. You're not preaching, a preaching. You preach. When you go, let's give it an example. A woman has cancer. I'm just throwing something out. As I go because the Spirit is leading me to this woman who has cancer. I meet the woman and I preach saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. I need to explain. Explaining is preaching, but explaining the Spirit, the kingdom of heaven of the light versus the heaven of the dark is at hand. I'm of the light, and perhaps you are of the darkness within you. Not you, but within you. So we're here. Heal the sick. So I need to figure out, what is your diet okay? What are you eating? What have you eaten? Have you traveled to go anywhere? What is within your body? What do you do? Are you smoking? Are you drinking? Or you have other illness to get from A to B? Because your body is its own system. This body is it's living. For an example, when you are hungry, who's telling you you're hungry? A spirit don't need to eat. Your body is telling you you need to eat. And your body's telling the spirit, get me something to eat. You're driving a car. The car will tell you when it's hungry. You'll see a light come on. Hey, I need some food. So the car is a form that is living, and you have to be sensitive to realize it's living of itself, and you're the spirit and you're directing it. So when the healing comes in to the woman who has cancer, I need to examine her to the degree of her sickness at a physical level. Okay? And I can simply say, well, for an example, I know of a research long time ago. It seemed to have some effect. I don't know, maybe not. Get some apricot seeds and eat some apricot seeds according to your weight and blah, 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 and see what happens. And then sometimes that right there healed that woman. So when I go, I'm not all the time dealing with a spiritual problem. I'm healing the sick. So as a person who wants to heal the sick, you have to find books. You have to get into that world of how can plants, how can things of nature heal the body that comes from nature? How can things heal the body that the body comes from? And you may say, I'm eating this and the government is allowing this chemical and blah, blah, blah. What's wrong with your hands to have your own garden? What's wrong with your hands and feet and going and talking to other people who have natural gardens? What's wrong with you just doing the work yourself and growing stuff yourself? See, all of this is a form of following Yahshua. You are building a garden, and the garden is 100% natural of itself. And when somebody gets sick, it could be as simple as pulling something out of your garden to give them to heal their sickness. Okay. And yes, this is a type of, let me clarify this. If you was to go to Mexico and you'll go into this one location, and down this street, this alley street, you'll see a whole bunch of herbs and spices and so on and so on and so on. What you see within that, it is a form of healing the sick, but it's not. A form of healing the sick is vegetables, putting your feet in dirt. The body comes from this earth. The body can be healed by this earth. Sometimes it can be just as much as just to do a simple fasting. Okay? Healing the sick has nothing to do with spiritual, nothing. So if you go and you go to a location and you find all these different things, just remember, healing the sick is nothing to do with spiritual. Okay? All right. Cleansing the leopard. Cleansing the leopard is equivalent to the sickness. The sickness, think of it as eternal cancer. Cleansing the leopard is a cancer, but it's external. It's an external problem. You have an external issue. In today's time, we are very cleanliness. We're very clean. And so it's not so much in today's time when it comes to the leopard things. The bubbles, the boils, and all of that was and that could be futuristic, but today it's under control with medicine, because medicine can heal the leopards. Plants can heal the sickness. Internal plants can heal the external. But then you have smarter people like doctors and medical doctors, and they understand medicine and the internal, that if you clean the internal can fix the external. But then if you get to a certain level, you understand certain plants, certain roots, certain this can fix the internal, that can also fix the external. Either way, when you do what Yahshua says do, you're actually, the first two is you're actually healing the body. And you technically don't need to get into a spiritual situation of fasting and praying and rituals and being holy and all of those things. You don't have to do none of that. You can just go to the grocery store and pick up something and say, here, take this. If you do that, you're doing that and following Yahshua. However, keep this in mind. You need the Holy Ghost to direct you into this. Okay? Yeah. All right. So the next two, I will talk about it because of time. I'll talk about it and we'll get into it the next video. Excuse me. Raise the dead. There is a timeline when you can do this. Typically, it's between 3, even though Yahshua did 4, but raise the dead, sometimes the soul goes out of a body and you got to call that spirit. Look, guys, I know you're in the light, but you need to get back and come back into this body. Sorry, you just need to do that. Okay? And so that's how that works. And then a typical Hollywood style Catholic thing, cast out demons. Everybody has this fear of cast out demons from a body. How do you know? You don't know that you're casting out demons. You don't know when you're supposed to cast out demons. Your passengers know. You just need to know how to do it. The passenger will tell you when to do it and how to do it. It's the passenger who comes in front of you and speaks. They're speaking from your body, going through that body, speaking to that unclean spirit. And the assistance of the physical is very limited, believe it or not. It's very limited. The most I can say in today's video is to simply say, when you're dealing with unclean spirits or the devil, you're really just preparing yourself so it doesn't come into you. That's basically what you're doing. So if it doesn't come into you, then you need to understand it needs to come out of that passenger body. Where are you going to put it? We'll talk about that. Freely you have received. Well, you just received the healing of the sick, cleansing of the lepers. You do that with the Holy Ghost because sometimes people are sick because of punishment, or it's just not their right time to be healed, or it is, and you have the knowledge to help that person. You have to understand, like the other videos we just went through, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. You understand there's a God. Then there's gods, and there's spirits, and there's the rankings of the angels, and there's, right? And once you get all of that, yes, as the spirit leads you, the ghost leads you, you'll be able to do wonderful works. Freely you have received, freely you can give, as long as it is being directed by the Father, the Ghost, Holy Ghost. Okay? All right. This is Dr. Bagley. Thank you very much, and we'll talk soon.